Welcome back, friends, and today we are going to talk about a very important topic. When it comes to preparing yourself for the UPSC Civil Services Examination, one of the most important aspects is your own notes. Now, you must have heard this from many people that you must prepare your own notes and how important it is to have your own notes. But I'm not sure how many of them have told you how to actually prepare your notes. Today we are actually going to talk about it. Today we are going to talk about very practical steps of how should we prepare our own notes. Now the first thing I would advise is to read question papers of the last many years, at least 8 to 10 years, and also to read alongside the syllabus of the UPSC. These two things, the syllabus and the questions that have been asked in the previous years, is very crucial. You must spend at least a month or even more if required in reading these questions again and again and internalizing the way questions are asked in the UPSC. Step number 2, you have to take hardbound registers, one register for each paper. So for 4 general studies papers, take 4 registers, and for 2 optional papers, take 2 registers. Now please take hardbound registers and do not prepare your notes on loose papers because you're very likely to lose them or they will get torn in the process of revision. Step number 3, label these registers with the names of the papers. Step number 4, always have them with you, around you whenever you are preparing for the exam. Not just when you're reading your books or your notes, but also when you're reading newspaper or magazines, or even when you're watching television, because you never know from where you will get a piece of information that can be asked in the UPSC. So you always have them around. Next very important thing to remember is what to note down and what to leave. Well, this is something that you will have to learn. By reading question papers of the previous years and by understanding the syllabus, you will get enough idea as to what can be asked in the exam and what cannot be asked. But here I would advise you to be a little broader in our approach. By that what I mean is that if you are very sure that the piece of information you have come across in a books or magazine or wherever can be asked in the exam, well, take it down. If you have a doubt whether it can be asked or cannot be asked, then again, write it down, don't leave it. But if you're very sure that this piece of information will not be asked in the exam, then leave it. Now, a very important thing about reading. When you read, you must read actively. There are 2 types of readings that you can do. One is passive reading, the other one is active reading. By active reading, I mean that when you're reading something, you are actually looking for answers to the questions that are there in your mind. And believe me, if you have filled your mind with lots of questions, and that's what I advise aspirants, that they must fill their heads with lots of questions and try to find answers to those questions when they are reading anything. Next important thing to remember about making your own notes is to write them in bullet points. Please do not write the long lengthy paragraphs. You don't need them, and it is going to be very difficult to revise them in quick time. Second important thing is make sure that you draw all the graphs or maps or pictures that are there in that source. Please remember one important thing. Leave some space at the end of the information that you've written. For example, you're reading, say, in your book about a particular topic and you make bullet points on that. Now do not stop it there. Do not start the next topic right away. Leave some space there. Now this space will be used when you come across the same topic in some other source. For example, a few months down the line you're reading a newspaper, and in the newspaper you come across an updated information about the same topic, or some extra facts or some extra piece of information which you think is very important. You go back to the same page and make an entry there. And this way your notes are going to be updated all the times, and that's what will give you an edge over others. Now when you make your own notes, the most important thing is to revise them again and again. Please make revision an integral part of your daily schedule. have at least 1 or 2 hours for revising what you have written. There is something called forgetting curve, which means that when you read something, you tend to forget over a period of time, and you actually forget it completely over a longer period of time unless you go back to it and read it again and revise it. So it is helpful to remember to go back to your notes again and again periodically and read them so that you retain them. Now, your notes help you in many ways. First, they help you in retaining what you have read, and at the same time they help you in a very quick revision. Let us understand that when you get closer to the examination and when you want to revise, you will not have enough time to go back to all those books that you have read. You will not have time to go back to the newspapers, to the magazines that you have read and read them again. So ultimately it is going to be your own notes that is going to help you in revising the whole thing. So I would wish you all the best in making your own notes. Thank you so much.